Welcome to another episode of Day Sports. Again here with my brother Tom. How you going, mate?
Good, bros. How you been?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I'm just glad we got this thing up and running because Riverside, what we record this on, it was been terrible this afternoon. Just about through my laptop, I think. Both of us were really close to pulling the pin, but we got there. So very glad we got things up and running.
Yeah, it's lucky no one's got a recording of that shit show we were running for the last 45 minutes because, yeah, it wasn't very impressive in the
Yeah,
streaming
no,
world.
no, wasn't great at all. I think if there is a better option out there, we might be easily swayed towards that. Any sponsors just want to jump on board, give me some stuff, but that's all sweet. You get up to much over the weekend?
Nah, not a whole lot. Played a bit of golf, poorly, drank a few beers, but nah, that was about it. What'd you get up to?
As far as weekends go, that sounds pretty good. Did you play actual golf or are you playing putt-putt?
Bit of both.
Bit of both.
Any
Did
excuse to
you at
play
least
golf.
win at one of them?
Yeah, I won at mini golf. But yeah, regular golf was no good this week.
No good. What did I do? It's one of those like weekends I definitely did the square root of fuck all, but like I can't even tell you exactly what I did. Probably just more so stuff around the house, nothing really too exciting. Watched a little bit of the trial games at least, which was good, but
Yeah,
outside of
that's
that,
it.
and tried to watch a little bit of cricket, but I kind of, yeah, it was just one of those things. But we've got plenty of rugby league, plenty of cricket chat to get into today. Before we do jump into everything, just make sure you do like, subscribe, follow on all the social medias. I'll link all of that in the bio. Comment, give us a rate on wherever you listen to podcasts. All of that support goes a long way. And speaking of support, like we've been talking about for the last few weeks, I just want to announce the giveaway for the NRL jersey that I've been babbling on about for a bit, but actually finally going to happen. So I'm going to put the post up this afternoon. So hopefully by the time you're seeing this, it's going to be up on Instagram as well. Now, to enter, all you need to do is be following Day.Sports on Instagram, like the competition post, and tag a mate in the comments. From there, you can just rinse and repeat as many times as you want, tag as many mates as you'd like. One tag equals one entry, and bonus points if you share it on your story, and tag us in there as well so we can see it. So they'll be running from today. So today would be,
The
if you're
11th.
watching this, the 12th.
Yeah,
Well, it'll be
12th
the
on a
12th.
Wednesday when it comes out.
12th,
Yeah.
yeah, 12th, and they'll be running up until the 1st of March, so the day before the first round kicks off over in Vegas. So make sure you
Vegas,
get around
baby.
that if you'd like to win. Again, it is on the Instagram, so go suss it out. It's going to have all the details over there. You got to be in it to win it, so get around it.
No,
Yeah,
that's
like
it.
I was saying, rugby league it is back. Well, but the preseason challenge
Two
it
games.
kicked off. Yeah, I don't know if it really counts, but a little bit of a recap of that one. So we had the Sharks up against the Warriors. They drew 12 all, so we didn't really get that one right. We both went the Warriors. I think I said Warriors 13 plus.
Yeah, well, I would have been home and hose if Tamari Martin just decided to catch the ball and put the thing down instead of
Oh,
playing volleyball. But yeah, honestly, I was expecting a bit more of a show from the Wars. But no, it was good to have rugby league back, nonetheless. Good to see
yeah, no, it
Mitch
was good.
Barnett
And
bleeding piss, like piss and blood, I should
oh
say.
yeah, oh yeah, you know that rugby league's back when Mitchy Barnett within I think the first 5 minutes is just absolutely pissing blood. Has to go
Clara
off to the
coming out.
blood bin. Coming
Clara
back
coming
looking like
out,
he's
left,
wrapped
right, and centre.
coming back on looking like he's a mummy wrapped up absolutely head to toe just about. He was that busted up.
Yeah.
And
Um,
another thing that really cemented rugby league being back was big Tommy Hazelton falling over the line and getting a meat pie for the first try of the entire
I
season.
reckon
Tell me that's not rugby league.
that dude has just about being a lock for any time try scorer last year, and he loves a sneaky little fall over the line, little crash play close
Oh
to the
yeah.
line. So
He
yeah,
should
wasn't shocked to that at all.
no, he should just about be like $1.30 like a winger or something like that because he's just about guaranteed. Wait, did you see Blocker's favourite player, Wateni Zalesniak, as
It was the yak,
well, Lesniak.
the
Did you see he's
Lesniak.
like broke slash dislocated his wrist on the trial game?
Yeah, that was crook, eh?
Yeah, so like they didn't really give too much of an update, but I think I saw on like NRL physio this afternoon that he's going to be out for like 6 to 12 weeks or something like that because he's got to get like full blown surgery. And it looked like it was like almost on one of those players, he always dives over like
Mm.
flying through the air, and he's like fallen back and just like completely cooked it. But speaking of Tiara Martin, fucking, I had him down to score. What did I have? I had Chance Nickel Cockstead, bang, thanks for coming. All I needed was Martin a crossover, and yeah, like you said, he's out there playing volleyball. It was the easy, well, maybe not the easiest. He still had a little bit of work to do, but he was basically over the line,
Dude basically had the fall over.
put down. Like he needs to be having a chat to someone. Like he's got white love fever and just lost them. I don't know
I
what's
know
happened
you were
there,
having a big chat to me, blowing up. What is he doing? My multi's fucked now.
Nah, and don't get me wrong, I'm never going to get up a player for ruining my multi or anything like that. But I was just like, surely you could have scored that one. But
Yeah,
it's just one of those things. But yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot bigger of like a blowout. And
yeah,
I
that's
don't
for
know
sure.
if that's worrying signs for Wars. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a trial game. It's one of those things they're going to rotate players. But you did start with like everybody,
Yeah,
and probably for the better part of the first half too. But
yeah, that's yeah. I definitely reckon that's. I'm not going to read into it too much, being preseason game,
nah,
bit of a fuck around before season kicks off. But even being a preseason game, I was still expecting them to put a fair few points on the Sharks early, especially having the lineup that they had. Like, don't get me wrong, the Sharks lineup was no slump, but yeah, I think the Wires definitely should have been flogging them.
yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. And then I guess exactly like I said though, not looking too far into it. Maybe they're all very well aware of the preseason challenge and just said we don't want none of that smoke.
So that
And then
video,
yeah, the Raiders they beat the Panthers 22-16. But that's a different kettle of fish because both of those teams were pretty much just playing like their Rezzies type of thing. It wasn't like they were running out their best side, but yeah, definitely don't want to look too far into that. We said for the Riff to get it done, so we kind of went 0-2 on our first tips of the year. But I again don't really
hot
count those as they
start
are
to the
preseason.
year. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's the same as the preseason challenge. You don't want to win it as a team. You don't want to win as a tipper because you're probably going to go bad for the rest of the year. So I'm happy if we get none of those right.
did you tip preseason well last year? Did you? Because you were fucking terrible in the
Honestly,
regular year last year.
honestly, tried to put last season behind me. I couldn't even tell you what I did, but it wasn't great. And that is one thing. Even though yes, we do have rugby league back, and there's a bit of action, and obviously a lot more games happening this weekend. I kind of preseason's fun, but I just to an extent just don't really care or get on board until round one. It seems like it's just that little
Yeah,
drip feeding type of thing. It just because it means nothing, like outside of you
feel
just
like the
maybe get
Big
to see a
Bash.
few new players. Did you say sort of like the Big Bash?
Feel like the Big Bash. Fucking
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. Yeah, like
Just a
I'll
bit of
watch it
just a
if
bit
there's
of nothing
nothing
to fill
else.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, well, what's it called? Oh, here's a fucking thing for you. So you know how the Broncos were down in Burleigh playing Burleigh Bears?
yeah.
So I chucked that one up on YouTube. They straight up filmed that on a potato or whatever camera they were using. It was just like some bro's iPhone or something like that. But pretty good watch though. Like it's good to see a few of the players get a run and whatever else. But my missus was off at Laneway Festival and she was having pre-drinks at one of her friends' apartments. And they met this like random fella up on the rooftop or whatever. He was having a chat to a few of the girls, and he was trying to tell them that he was signed to the Brisbane Broncos. And one of them was like the biggest Broncos fan, like would probably murder people to go on a date with like Paddy Carrigan or something like that. And this guy's trying to say like, oh yeah, I'm signed for Brisbane Broncos. Like if you come to my room, like I'll try to like get it so you can meet Paddy and like all this. And like she gave me his name, and I straight away was like, that's not a thing. I was like, if he was anybody even close to that team, he'd be in Burleigh literally right now playing a game. But instead, he's sitting here on a roof. Like,
Love
it was
that.
just the all-time classic. But
That's a bit like
we got
that's a bit like when you go into a smokers area at a pub. I feel like you just tell people lies about yourself non-stop. So I feel like that might have been the same kettle of fish there.
oh yeah, it definitely could have
Um,
been one that he's just pulled out of nowhere. It's the real I put the stickers on the apples at Woolies or something like that type of gig. But
yeah, exactly.
and just reminded me actually when we're speaking about Mitchy Barnett and other people that got busted up over the weekend. Did you happen to see Sean Strickland get bashed by Drakus Duplessis at all, or see his nose?
That dude's face looked like a drop pie, didn't it? His face was caved in. That nose was blown up like a balloon as well.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
he
Drakus. I think.
definitely done a number on him. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, oh he just beat the shit out of him for 5 rounds, and when he busted his nose, like I was just having flashbacks to the Rory McDonald Robbie Lawler fight because
Just a
that thing just
bloodbath.
looked like a bloody wombats or something like that.
Yeah.
I think he posted saying it was broken in 6 places. He was trying to put it back in, and I had Drakus to win by TKO KO, so I was just like, "Get him, son! Like, come on, a couple more." Because I reckon if he'd got him another couple clean ones on the snoz, like that might have ended him. Like,
Yeah.
um, just like the pain. But yeah, it was pretty funny to watch because I weirdly enough somewhat like came to like Sean, but by the time this fight was happening, just was like, please knock him out. It was terrible,
I think
but
most of Australia is like that.
I think so. But yeah, we'll be jumping into all of our predictions for week 2, I guess, of the preseason shortly. But before we get into all that, let's go over our top 8 predictions for the 2025 season. I'm not too sure if you've got any smokies. Mine are probably going to be what a lot of people have. But do you want to go one for one? Because this is not really going to be in any particular
Is
order, or
yours?
do you want to give
I
me
was
all
going to say
yours?
I've got mine in order of what I think
Oh, okay,
of
I
what
don't
the
have
eight
mine in order,
of
but
what the 8 is going to finish like. But yeah, we can go one for one and sort of see where we end up.
all right. Well, you can kick us off first. So you can either just do it out of order or go from your top one, and we'll just kind of work our way down from there.
So firstly, I got who will be a lock yet again this year, Melbourne Storm,
Hmm.
at the top of mine. Clinical team, a lot of the same group staying around next year. So this year, I should say, in 2025, and I think they'll run into the top 4, no worries again.
Mm. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I got Storm in there as well. They're pretty much just cheat codes. Like they've only missed the 8 like a handful of times, if that, and like ever since they were started. So with
Yeah,
Bellyache there, and like you said, all the same players essentially, and then they've managed to sign even better players, and God knows what sort of young fellas they've got coming through. So I think
mm.
if they can stay fit and firing, they'll be sweet, especially with like Cam Munster coming back from injury. Like if he's able to spend a significant time out there, but even if he doesn't, you got like Tyron Wishart and whatever else backing up. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I got
Ultimate
Storm.
utility from all last year. He was like filled every
Oh
position
yeah,
just about and killed at every position. So yeah, he's a cheat code for them.
yeah. Right, and then another one that I've got. So I guess you could almost probably lock these in at 1 or 2, really, if you wanted to look at it this way. But I think Penrith Panthers, they're just elite. I don't see them taking the foot off the gas at all. It's plug and play with them as well. Like the amount of players that they've lost, and they managed to just fill the positions with quality players yet
Yeah.
again. As long, I think, compared to other seasons, though, it really is going to matter on Nathan Cleary's fitness. While in other seasons, he's gone down usually for different periods. You've had your Jerome Luais and other guys to back up, and yes, there is Schneider, Cole, stuff like that. But I think there's going to be a lot more weight on Cleary's shoulders this year,
Mhm.
especially if he's ends up injured. But I honestly think they could just about go 5 in a row. Like it just wouldn't surprise me at this point,
Wouldn't surprise me
which
either.
hurts.
Which hurts as well. Because like you said, they've had Jerome Luai there. Last year was a prime example. Like I thought he'd been out of touch. For at least a year. Still playing well, but not to his potential. And as soon as Cleary went down last year, he stepped up and went well above and beyond and played probably his best season I've ever seen him play. So if he does go down this year, which is every good possibility that he does at some stage, there'll be a big void left. But yeah, I've got Penrith in my top 8 as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. And Cleary, he likes to go down around Origin period. It seems to be his like
Yeah,
mid-year service he seems to do.
Origin
So
voodoo.
yeah, he loves to just have a little rest around there. So we'll see what happens. Who else you got in the 8?
I got the beloved Brisbane Broncos in the 8. I think Buzz has been putting a bit of mayo like he does on a story that come out this week about the Brisbane players not being happy with Madge, which I
Oh, I
think
saw that.
is probably a bit of a beat up by Buzz per usual.
Clutching at straws.
I think a hard edge is what that team's needed, especially after the last few seasons. Someone who's not going to take any shit really. So no, I think you'll definitely see a big turnaround from the Broncos this year. I'm not going to say we're going to make top 4, but I think we're probably a lock for the 8.
Look, trying to keep as neutral as possible on this, but I'm not gonna because fuck that. I
Fuck
think we are
that.
definitely
Broncos
going to
all
be in the
day,
top
baby.
eight. Broncos all day, baby. We're going the whole way. All I got to say is Ben Hunt. Enough said. I reckon top four is like a very well possibility.
Go
I'm just
Dozer.
getting high. I'm just getting high on the whole Ben Hunt thing at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the stars aligning, and I'm seeing us go so well. There was a thing that I think Fox put out today. It was like a 14-minute video. They had him pretty much saying how happy he is to be coming home to Brisbane. So enjoy that, Dragons fans.
If
But
we
honestly,
don't,
yeah, well,
if that first home game at Suncorp we don't get a John Jones, coming home moment, I'm going to be disappointed. But
the pop from the crowd is just going to be ridiculous. But
they might not play that because P Diddy's off limits at the moment.
yeah, no, we cut that one. But I think as long as we keep the injuries down, like I think there's just a few key people where it used to be if Renault went down, the whole season was kind of gone. It's a little bit like, okay, well, if that does happen, we've got guys coming through, obviously with Ben Hunt and whatever else. I think Mage one though, if we have guys like Payne, Haas fit and firing for the majority of the season, I think we're going to be sweet. But yeah, no, I think Broncos are going to be sitting well. I'm excited for this season. Let's touch wood, cross fingers, and fucking make sure you put your voodoo dolls away at Renault because I don't want to see none of that shit.
So who you got next in your eight?
Obviously,
you had Broncos as well in your top eight.
Yes, I had Broncos. Yep. So Broncos are in there. This one, I really kind of hammered home last season, and the wheels fell off this with very, very quickly. But I'm going to go with the Gold Coast Titans. They're due. I think they're going to happen. Big Tino's back in the heart, the soul of that team. That is massive getting him back in there. I love to see it. Like I think I said last year, I was like, yeah, I think they might make the top eight, and I think they lost like the first 5 or 6 games straight. So surely it can't be as bad as that. And Keanu Keeney, I love what he did last season. He really made that fullback position his own. I think he's pretty much snagged that for the Gold Coast Titans. I'd be surprised if he gets played. Anywhere else, particularly if he didn't make the cut. So I think he could be in for a massive season. And I think if everything, combines well, if they can get their halves working out all right, and again, just like every other club, I guess, avoid the injuries, I could really see them making a push for it.
Yeah, exactly. No, he was a standout for sure for the Titans last year, Keanu Keeney. So probably a big one like that I remember as well was that game against Brisbane on the Gold Coast.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, and it was almost a bit of a battle of the fullbacks the way that game started out, and he probably come out on top for sure in that game. So no, I think he's going to have a big year, and yeah, I think Tino coming back's yet again like another big plus for them, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, like Tino is a representative Origin player. Like you don't get much better than that, and your club captain. Like he's such a huge inclusion. And then that just reminded me though, that Gold Coast game, is that the one that Reece Walsh just like leapt through the air, where he just like threw himself through the air trying to like intercept the pass or something.
Yeah,
that was such a dodgy one.
Also, the game that he threw one into the second row and sprayed the life out of OT4. So.
Yeah, that's right. OT, you can't catch a ball.
OT, you can't catch a ball fame unless it's at his chest. But anyway, moving on.
So Titans. What else you got?
I've got Tom and Eddie's favourite Manly Seagulls cruising into the 8 again this year, I reckon. Yeah,
I've got them as well. They're just a solid team, and especially if Tommy Bra, if he's fit and firing, like at 100%, you never know what they're going to do. But like just all round, they're just a pretty solid team. They'd have to have a considerable fall off, I think, not to make it. They're just like a pretty solid lock. I don't know about getting in the top 4 or anything like that, but I reckon they'll pretty much cruise into there without too many dramas.
I swear I read something recently about them pushing Tom to centre for club.
Yeah, I think there's been a bit of chat about that and having Hopewade.
Or Hopewade or it might have been Hopewade at the back actually, sorry. But yeah. But I think that'd also be ludicrous if they chew up Tom in that sense by sending him out to centre, like he'd see less ball. So
100%, yeah. That's got a bit of gutho about him. Just like, you're going to centres, gutho. Unlucky, bro, if you're staying there at the heels. Like, so, Tom can play centre, obviously, and does for Origin, whatever else. But at club, you just want him to be able to roam around and be a menace.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll just be interesting to see how they go. Another team that I've got in there is the Sydney Rooters.
Hmm.
I was kind of a little bit tossing up about them. They've lost a million people, don't get me wrong, but they do get Sam Walker and the Cheese back a little bit later in the year, so I think they're going to be able to make a massive difference. I reckon they're going to have like a pretty ordinary start to the season, and once those guys come back, just go bang and
Yeah,
take off.
I
So I
wouldn't
think they're going to
mind.
go pretty well.
I wouldn't mind having a look at their draw. For the first. I'm not sure when Sam Walker. Not sure when. I don't think Cheese is big. The way he's played for the last season there anyway. I think there's guys to be able to cover his position while he's
Yeah.
out. But Sam Walker had a great year last year.
Mm.
Not sure what round he's expected to be back. So if they get a decent start to the year draw wise, they're going to be right there at the end of the year. I think still, even
Yeah.
after losing guys like Jared and Tupou and whatnot. So yeah, that'd be good. It's
Exactly.
good to see how they
And
go.
then I just got another thought about Manly. You were saying about Kohler. Apparently, like him and Tommy Talau, I think, are like fighting for a spot in that team. So it's all over the
Mm,
place. And
mm.
I guess that's kind of like a bit of a thing with the whole preseason, whatever. There's so much speculation about who's going to be playing and what position and this, that, and everything. And it just I feel like it just doesn't matter until those teams are named on the first week. It's
Yeah,
just
no, exactly.
carry on up until then. Pretty much gives us something to talk about, but you get a bit over it after a bit. It's just like until I see the team list, I don't believe nothing.
Yeah.
Like anything could pretty much happen. So it's just one of those ones. Another team that I've got is the Sharpies. Cronulla Sharks, they're just going to be thereabouts, I think. Again, I don't think they're a team that, like, I just never really see them going all the way. But with Adam Fanua-Blake coming into that team, he's
Mm.
just been a monster destructive forward for the last while. And with Nico Hines as well, kind of not being involved with some of the rep teams or the Blues camp or whatever else has been going on, I feel like there's probably been, I don't think he's playing in the Indigenous All Stars, nothing like that. So I think just gives him a bit of time to reset, chill out a bit, and have a bit of the pressure taken off his shoulders. So if he comes back, I think a little bit less stressed, and maybe if Trindle takes over a little bit of the responsibility and just kind of lets him play his game, he can really turn a game. So I'm keen to see how he goes, but I think the Sharks again are just going to be in there.
Well, I've seen reports of they reckon they could possibly try him in the one this year, Nico.
I don't hate that.
Don't hate it because he has been like a good one in the past. So
Hmm.
um, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they did try it, and I'd be keen to see how it went. But on another note, like I think Will Kennedy is a great fullback for him, and there's always been safe as houses under a high ball.
Kennedy.
So no, it'd be interesting to see what Fitzy ends up with,
Yeah, I'd be
spine
surprised if they
wise.
drop Kennedy.
Yeah, I think he's a bit hard to. I'd understand it if they had a bit of a dodgy fullback, but yeah, he's been pretty solid for him.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Like people really make him out to be like terrible, and it's just like I think he's been pretty good. He might have had a bit of an off season, more like a quieter season potentially last year, but
yeah, but no,
yeah, I can't really
I
see
think
any
he's just, I
dramas.
think he's a dude a bit like, who can I compare him to? Probably like Kobe Hetherington for the Broncos, who just turns up and does his job week in, week out.
Yeah,
So, nah, be keen to see what
exactly.
happens there. A team that I have got, that I'm sure you've probably got on your list there as well, as Doggies.
I don't have the dogs. No doggies, bro.
Ooh, no hot dogs for you, bro.
Nah.
All
Why have you
right.
got
Give
the
me your
doggies?
thoughts. I think,
Oh, my thoughts are. I think the doggies are going to have like a bit of a Waz year. I think they like killed it
Pete.
last year, and I reckon they might have a little bit of a like a fall off. I think.
Yeah, no, and I understand where you're coming from. Because I think a lot of people were in the same boat last year after the WAR season that they'd had,
Mm.
and they ran into the top four. Um, Everyone fucking had a big green tick on them, for the
Oh yeah.
2024 season, and they just shit the bed. So I think, under Seraldo, the dog years are going to be still there about.
Mm.
I think they're still going to make the eight for sure, comfortably. I reckon. Um, but yeah, I guess we'll see. I think that's
Yeah, I
one of the
was
first.
like,
Oh, I
I was
suppose
really tossing
Titans
up.
as well, but that's the second one we disagreed on.
Yeah, well, I was really close. Like, there was probably three teams that I was tossing up for, I guess, the last one that I was going to put in there. One of them was the Doggies, but I was kind of thinking, it's just, I think they're going to have such massive expectations, whether or not they're going to be able to live up to it. And yeah, like you said, obviously teams like the Warriors and then especially like the Broncos, who made a bloody grand final, were tipped pretty much to win last year and
Mm.
fell off a cliff. So yeah, see how Doggies go. Cowboys was another one that I was kind of tossing up, but then injuries, losing halfbacks. It's just kind of
Yeah, Cows was another
that. And I
one who
love to see
I've
the
left off
Cows
my
fucking
list, but
yeah.
they're another
That and I
team
love to
who couldn't get out of the first year for the first however many rounds it was last year, and then sort of started to find some form. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how the Cows go as well, but I've left them out my age as well.
Yeah, they're a bit of a flip of the coin, and I just secretly love to see them suck shit as well. It's just one of those things.
Yeah,
But then the one that I did end up chucking in there, and I'm not overly confident about it, but I've gone with the Rabbitohs.
yeah.
That's
Same.
purely,
Of
yeah,
Clint
purely
Eastwood
on the
being there.
return. Yeah, the return of Uncle Wayne.
Yeah,
Enough said. Man can pull off. He can pull rabbits out of hats, and he will.
mm.
And then I think as well, if Latrell Mitchell is playing anywhere near his potential, he could will them into a top eight position, I think. And he loves Uncle Wayne. If he's going to show up for anyone, it's going to be that man. So
Yeah.
I reckon they're going to go all right.
No, for sure. I reckon even like photos of him in the preseason, the dude looks fit as fuck.
Yeah, Fitrell.
Yeah, fit trail.
Yeah.
Trail mitt, fit trail.
Trill.
Fit mitt.
Fit
But no, I think he's going to be up for a big year because I think like heard so many players say it over the years about Wayne being a people person before a coach sort of thing. Like, and knows his players
Yeah.
inside out, knows how to get the most out of them. So I think you'll see a big season from him. I think Cody Walker's getting a bit long in the tooth, but I think you'll still see a respectable year from him with Jack White by his side. So,
Jackie, bro.
who knows? It could be a shit show like last year, or they could do something special and give the competition a shake up this year.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this young half's going to go as well. But yeah, Cody
Mm.
Walker, though, is just such class. Like, that dude's ability to just put pill on chest is ridiculous. Like, I love watching him play, actually. But I reckon we're going to be in the ballpark, but we can always revisit this down the line and see how we
Yeah.
went. I think some of them are very, very safe. There might be half of them, like your Storm, Penrith, probably your Sharks and that. I reckon
Yeah.
probably locks just about already, but the others anything could happen. So we'll see how it all goes.
But I think
Yeah.
you've covered my other ones. Yeah. So which is I got
Yeah, I think we got 'em.
Melbourne, Penrith, Broncos, Manly, Canterbury, Sharks, Rabbits, and Roosters. So I think we're same except for two, except for
Yeah.
Titans and the Doggies. But yeah.
Yeah. And then, so who did you have down to get minor premiers or to win the comp?
Broncos, baby.
Broncos,
Nah.
baby.
I wouldn't be shocked.
No, don't fucking lie. It totally is.
No, I've been honest. Well, in the list, like in order, what I had in my top eight was Melbourne first, Penrith second, regular season finishing. Melbourne, Penrith,
Yeah.
Broncos, Manly, Doggies, Sharks, Rabbits, Roosters. So I think not Penrith. I think Melbourne will take out
Miners again.
the Miners again. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then I think Melbourne will probably win it. Actually, I think they will. Don't think Melbourne are going to lose a final like the way they did last year and not at least be in the grand final again this year. So
Yeah.
I think you
That's
could.
true.
I think you could have a flip in the coin between Melbourne and whoever else ends up in the grand final because I think Melbourne's going to be there.
No, that's true. And I actually don't hate the idea of them winning the minor premiership like they did last season, but then just have a crushing defeat in the grand final. Or just
back to back, bounce out back to back sets.
like nothing would put a smile on my face more. Like they get through, they win the minors by tons, and they play like Penrith or the Broncos in the grand final and just get put to the sword.
Yeah,
That's something that would put a smile on my face. Like I like seeing the souls of Storm fans get crushed. So,
especially
I'd probably go,
a lot of people who are around our age who
Oh yeah,
decided to get into rugby league when they were about 11 or 12, and Melbourne were winning fucking everything, so they just jumped on the Melbourne train.
yeah, and I think as well, I feel like from like the years like '05, '06, like around that like late 2000s kind of era or mid 2000s, like when Broncos were winning grand finals and that was against the Storm. I feel like there's a weird like rivalry, at least that I feel when it comes up against the Storm. I think just maybe
Yeah,
from that grand
100%.
final, but
100%. Yeah.
yeah. So I just like to see them do bad, but yeah, I guess we'll see. And then yeah, I'm just gonna back my Broncos. I'm just gonna say it. They're going the whole way. The prophecy's coming true. We're gonna win it for Benny Hunt. Him and Ren are gonna sail off into the sunset, and everything's gonna be beautiful and happy. So that's what's gonna happen. And then I've had a bit of a think about who might get the wooden spoon. I reckon there's a few teams that could very well be in the running for it.
Yeah. Far away.
I really think I want to stick with the Eels.
The
I'm really on
Eels.
the Eels getting the spoon. Yeah, I reckon Eels. I reckon the Dragons could be in for a good
I was
look
gonna,
as well.
I was gonna say, I think I'm gonna dump some money on the Dragons or the Dargons
Yeah, the Dragons.
to take out the not silverware, the woodenware. So
The
yeah,
wooden wear. Yeah.
I think the Dragons are gonna fucking struggle this year, losing Ben Hunt, who was there, was the comp's fucking leading try assist, lead the comp with try assist last year. So
Yeah,
it
the
was
Dragons are not going to be doing well, I don't think. But I don't know,
nah.
something
Well, I
there's
think
not
they've done typical fucking Dragon style and signed, a few players who are getting very, very, getting very long in the tooth with Damien Cook, who is, I think, past it, and same with Gutho, starting to get on his way. So,
yeah.
yeah, I think they're going to struggle.
Elite centre pairing in Damien Cook and Clint Gutherson, if you ask me. But I don't know what it is. Like something like there's not even necessarily like anything going on. I just see club in turmoil with the Eels, and something about the universe is just screaming at me that there's a spoon coming their way. But
Well, the sun won't explode anytime soon, so
no. And
we can
then
leave it at that.
considering that one of their favourite sons in Dylan Brown is looking like we spoke about last week, jumping
Mm.
ship. Another club has kind of stuck their head out of the woodwork in the Newcastle Knights. Have you seen that they're supposedly offering old Dilly Bag some fat stacks, something like $6 million deal over
Yeah,
6 years?
seeing it's big cash, but I think they'll probably backflip the Knights because he's not a nearly retired halfback that's been to the Super League that they seem to love. So I think they'll probably good chance they'll probably backflip on that. I think between if that is the money they're going to be offering him between him and Ponga, it's a big chunk of their cap they're going to be taking up. So, but I don't know. I suppose you got to attract like a bit like what Canterbury done like a few years ago. I suppose throw up big money to attract good players and people will follow. So, don't know.
Yeah,
Watch the
exactly.
space, I guess.
Like I'd say there'd be worse signings. I think I saw Mitchy Pearce and Todd Carney on their new podcast thing they got going on, and Mitchy Pearce was pretty much just like, he's not really a halfback.
Yeah,
And that's definitely what the Knights need at this point. So I don't know if they want to put a young hot Dilly Bags with one of the Super League halfbacks and kind of see how that goes, or just put him
mm.
on the Ferris wheel that they seem to have for halves every single week because they literally
Geez,
just
there's a
change it
rotation,
every
isn't there?
week.
Yeah,
Oh, like they can't make their mind up, and like it's no wonder they can't seem to just like fire because if you're changing your halves, like the kind of like main fabric of that team and how everything's going to be set up every week, like what do you think is going to happen?
yeah, exactly.
And it kind of shits me. Like I just feel like teams, the old pick and stick routine. You know what I mean? Like it just
Bit of
let the
Queensland
chemistry
about
build.
him.
Yeah, yeah. Newcastle needs a bit more Queensland about them, a
Bit
bit of
of
stick
loyalty,
and
bit of pick and
stick,
stick.
yeah, a bit of loyalty in that bloody halves combination. Because yeah, one week it's Ponga, and now Jack Cogger, your go. Oh Hastings, your turn now. It's just
Yeah,
like ridiculous. So if they were to pick up a guy like Dylan Brown, like his class, and like just imagine him linking up with Kalen Ponga, like that would be disgusting. Some of the stuff that they could pull off.
yeah,
Especially with kind of the intuition that Dilly Bags has, and then you've got a guy like Ponga that can zip through on the inside and whatever and take balls, or come around on the outside and fucking take off. So be
yeah.
pretty dangerous. I like you though. I honestly don't see it happening. I kind of almost am starting to think that it is just like a massive play from Dylan Brown's like management or whatever, trying to like shop him around to boost his price
Boost
up, and
his
he's just going
price
to end
at
up
the
like
Eels, yeah.
Yeah, or he's just going to end up like staying there and getting no more money. The only other club that I could actually like imagine him being like going to, and that's whether or not he wants to pack up and go on a big move, would probably be the Dolphins. And that's just because they've got like a young half in Katoa that he should be kind of their main guy moving forward for potentially like the next 10 years plus
Mm.
if they really wanted to.
Yeah,
And Dylan Brown, what, he's like 26, 27, probably not even. So
not even. I
really
don't
coming
think
into that
so.
good age.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good shout, honestly, especially with, like I think they've got Anthony Milford off their books this year, and then Nick
Yeah,
Raymond's coming to the, end of his
get a bit old.
career as well. So yeah, it's probably not a bad shout, Dolphins, to be honest, but it depends where their money's tied up, I guess.
Well, that's it. Well, I'm under the impression they've actually got quite a bit of coin to throw around if they felt like it. So I reckon
Yeah.
if he was chasing that like 1.1 $1.2 million a year or whatever, that's probably going to be one of the only clubs that's going to get him, or he can join the rotation there at the Knights. So beats me. I'm sure it'd be exciting playing with Caleb Ponga, but
Yeah.
I reckon playing with a hammer would be pretty cool too. So
No, that's for sure.
yeah. Now, there's, like we said, so much noise, and speculation going around when it comes to preseason, who's playing where and whatever else. Have you seen for the Broncos that some rumours are coming out that old Jackie G,
We've
don't know how to pronounce
off
his fucking name.
camera, we've been trying to YouTube old videos of. It's shocking when he's playing for the Broncos and we're diehards and
We should know.
can't even. It's Gosiewski. I don't even know how it goes, but
Gosiewski. We're just going to call him Jackie G.
Jackie G. We're going to run with before we do
Jackie G.
Go Jackie G
is,
before we do a blocker and butcher his name even more. So
yeah, we're sorry already.
Yeah.
I can say Mark Nwangi Tawase, no worries. But Jackie G, mate, your name is Struggle Street. Anyway, have you seen that supposedly?
It reminds me of like the 12th man when he's going through and he's saying like rugby league names and he gets a bloody tongue twister, Stacey Jones. No, I don't know how to spell it, but yeah, no, Jackie G, tongue twister.
But yeah, no, Jackie G's a tongue twister. Now you got me just fucking can't even speak English. But Jackie G, supposedly he's beating out Piakura. And I'm not too sure if that's just media noise, if it's Madge in his glass houses or what's going on there, if it's just trying to get Piakura kind of, to the level that he could potentially be playing at on the, proposition that he might potentially lose his spot. But what do you reckon of that?
I think you're probably along the lines, in the sense that whether it could be a bit of a beat up by Madge to get Piakura to. I wouldn't be surprised, if he does probably won't get dropped, get sent to the bench, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is employed to get him to, show a little bit of ticker that he was lacking last year because, a year before when he, debuted and come into the system, he had a fucking outstanding year. But last year was very flat. And he had a fair few injuries as well on his behalf. So, all credits to Jackie G if he has managed to turn up and press his case to Madge. Then good on him. Because it reminds me of seeing reports today as well that looks like Corey Paker, who'd been banished to Queensland Cup for the last year and a half, that he could possibly, be in the lead to take out the hooker position at the Bronx for next year. So, it'd be interesting to see it. Yeah. Oh, sorry, for this year. Yeah. Keep saying fucking next year.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see, especially, that he's been a fourth string essentially for us for the last year and a half. Whether he ends up in the 9 or the 14 to start the season. So that'd be good to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, Madge has been throwing curveballs left, right, and centre, and it's hard to know what to believe with it as well. I think Jackie G actually, I think he made his debut under Madge many, many moons ago down in the Rabbits.
Could be at the Rabbits, yeah.
From what I saw. So I don't know if Madge just likes rabbits and he's just pulling those guys. But yeah, Corey Pakes is another one. Like, I've seen comments from people saying that Paddy Carrigan's saying that old mate's starting. I'm like, I don't know about that much. But and then it's been reported as well that Jackie G's been training outside of Ben Hunt on that left-hand side. So you never know. But then again, in that interview thing that I saw today, you had Ben Hunt saying that, he's really looking forward to see Piakura. So it's anyone's guess. And, Piakura is obviously young, got a big future ahead of him. He made it into the extended squad for Queensland last season as well. So, he's got massive raps on him.
I swear he played Origin.
Did he? I don't think he played. He was definitely in the extended squad.
Googling right
Maybe he
now.
did. It would have been the first game because I think it was like him and Ezra and all that.
Piakura was born in Newcastle. Skip over that. Maybe not. He must have been 18th
That's
man
not
then.
orange.
That's in Queensland. Anyway, I'm not going to look into that too hard, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's all right. And then one more thing for Broncos before we move on to our tips for this week. Kotoni Staggs is supposedly looking at a couple years extension as well, worth a couple mil. Have you seen about that?
Yeah, saying that, that's huge.
Yeah, I like that. I don't know what that means for Cobbo. Potentially not great. It might just be a paperwork thing at the moment. But Madge, I think when he came in, was pretty like confident. He was like, "Yeah, we're going to do some creative accounting, get a few of those brown paper bags moving, and we're going to try to keep both of them."
Yeah, well, he was pretty confident the other week, even after they announced Hunt resigned, that they're going to be able to keep both. So who knows what that means and what sort of coin people are going to be on. Lovely if we could keep both, but I can't see it happening. So in that case, if we do get Kotoni for a few more seasons, then that'd be great because, he can be a bit hit and miss, but when he's on, he's fucking on and he's extremely hard to stop. So, I think it's a good re-signing for the Bronx.
Yeah, and like for the last season, Cobbo probably had a little bit of a quieter season, playing in a different position. This season, supposedly moving back to the wing. So I guess we're going to see, he's obviously got like a massive ceiling. He is a freaky player out there, but I do like Staggs. Like you said, when he's on, he's ridiculous. And I think Madge could potentially really push him. He's in the leadership group, the leadership circle moving forward. I just love when he goes out there, though, fully turned on and just leaves palm prints in people's chests because he just deletes people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we kind of get the money from. And then, I don't know, it's one of those things, like, depending on what happens with Renault this year, if he calls it quits either throughout the season, if he picks up, like, another bad injury or at the end of the season, well, potentially coin there, depending on, what's going on with Cobbo.
Yeah, not too sure what's happening with the whole contract situation when they are on and off contract. So obviously Renault's going to retire at the end of this season, which will free up.
You'd think, anyway, yeah.
A good fuck, you'd hope. Before the man loses an arm or something on the field, just snaps off.
First amputation on field.
Yeah, so I dare say if that's the case that they're both coming off contract in 2026, then Renault's cap space might be able to help with that.
100%. Alrighty. And then again, so we're jumping into some tips and predictions for this week's game. I'm going to start off with the Maori versus Indigenous All Stars game. So that one is on, I like to say Saturday. I'm pretty sure Saturday night. Yep.
I can probably tell you.
So it'd be kickoff at 7:10 here in Queensland up at Combank Stadium. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's where it's played at, I think. Awesome. So I don't actually know who's the favourite on that one. Have you got any numbers on there?
I dare say the Maori All Stars will probably be favourites. Just judging.
You reckon?
I reckon. Judging by, I'm just going off the team sheets. I'll see if I can find it on. Well, we've got no betting sponsor yet, so let's have a look at Ladbrokes.
An unnamed betting app. We'll have a gaze at.
So if any betting agencies out there want to sponsor us, hit us up.
Whatever Blue Bet used to be called, I think they're called like Better or something like that now.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Indigenous All Stars, $2.40 outsiders. Maori All Stars, $1.57. $1.57 favourites. So that was definitely my first. That was my first impression when the team lists come out. Like, there's a lot of guys who have been not so much rested, but who have obviously opted out to look after themselves for the season ahead in that Indigenous All Stars team. Like the likes of
for sure
Trell Mitt, Jermaine Hopgood. There's a number like Nico Hines. There's a number of guys on there who aren't playing in that. Compared to there's some good names like in that Maori team. Like just reading off the list: Callum Ponga, Will Warbrick, Dane Gagai. Who else in there? Jesse Arthurs, Nickel Clockstart, Cody Nicarima, Marshall King, Fisher Harris. The list goes on. whereas there's definitely a lot more less experienced guys in the Indigenous team. So yeah, I think you could see Maori All Stars, possibly even putting on a 13 plus performance in my books. But what do you reckon?
Honestly, you might have swayed me. I was going to go with the Indigenous All Stars, but I'm starting to feel like the Māori boys might actually get it done. I feel like in the last couple seasons of it, it's generally been like the Indigenous All Stars. Their backline is ridiculous, while the Māori boys have like a ridiculous forward pack. But I feel like this time for the Māori All Stars, it's kind of across the park, like you're saying. Like they do have a pretty stacked lineup, especially you're looking at your Kalen Ponga, your Will Warbrick, Dane Gagai, stuff like that. Interesting that they got Keanu Keeney there at the 14, so no doubt he's going to get slotted into the action at some point.
For sure.
So I don't know if Ponga would potentially go into 6 maybe if something like that happened, but one thing that I do like with the Indigenous All-Stars, though, is having the hammer there at fullback, because he is a cheat code and will probably just score 3 tries for fun. So whatever that's paying, I'd be jumping on that straight away, because
that's it.
He makes it look effortless. Kalen Ponga, who's just about been exiled from Australia, is probably going to have a pretty good game, I think, as well for the Māori All-Stars. So hopefully things go well there. But it is a good game to watch. Can't say I'll be getting to watch much of it. I'm pretty sure I'm booked in for a Valentine's dinner that night. So little cheeky bathroom break, have a look at the score type of thing. I don't think I'll get away with watching that one at the table. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I might be swimming in the Brisbane River if I tried that one.
Yeah, it could be a little swim in the river and a walk home job, I reckon.
Oh, yeah. One that does scream out to me, actually, though, for the Rezzies for the Māori All-Stars is Xavier Willinson being there at number 16. It looks like he's been moved and Curtis Morin going in. He was one of their best players for them, I think, last year. So I don't know if that kind of gives like a bit of an indication on where his at performance was, or maybe I'm looking a little bit too far into it, but I thought that was a little bit interesting.
Yeah, I think he's going to have another good game, and I think he'll have a big season for the Broncos and a bit more of a bigger role for the Broncos this year for sure.
Oh, well, he's an 18.
Hey,
he's an 18 in the reserves, not on the interchange.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go. All right, but so you're going. So, what is your prediction? Give me a tip. Tell me what it is.
I'm going to have Māori All Stars 13 plus.
I'm going to go with Māori All Stars as well. I'm going to go 1 to 12, and for the hammer to score any time would be my tip for that game.
Yeah, no, fair.
All right. That brings us into week 2 of the preseason challenge. These are going to be our tips. We're going to quickly go over these ones, give you a little bit of our thoughts. We haven't even got to cricket yet. Alrighty, so like we're saying, second round of the preseason challenge kicks off Thursday night. So we've got Thursday night footy back, which it's just going to feel like regular footy season again. Up first, we've got the Raiders versus the Sharkies. That one is at 6:50. Looking at these teams, they've both named, I dare say, like very close to what their starting lineup is going to be. What is your tip on this one, Tom? Who do you reckon is going to get it done?
I'm going to have the Sharpies 1 to 12. Both teams have named really strong lineups, but I think the Sharks, just a bit more solid of a team, a bit more experience, bit better overall across the park. So I think I'm going to take the Sharks comfortably 1 to 12. What about you?
Yeah, I think pretty much the same thing. Sharks 1 to 12. Again, preseason game. It's really hard to really pick these, but you've got guys like Trindle in there, Hines. You've got Ronaldo Militalo that just re-signed. Pretty much everyone in there. Adam Fanua Blake making an appearance, so he'll probably just run over about 4 people and score some meat pies. So, yeah, I reckon that's going to be that. I reckon Sharpies get it done. Next game on the Friday night, so the first one on the Friday, we got the Knights versus the Parramatta Eels. I'm going to go with the Knights on this one at McDonald Jones. I think they're getting it done again just because I think the Eels are going to fall out something ridiculous. What do you reckon?
I'm going to roll... Jeez, I think I'm going to have to roll against you, honestly. I think there's a few young guys in that Eels team who are definitely going to be trying to press a spot throughout the season. So I think I'm going to take Para at 1 to 12, but just wouldn't be surprised if a draw rolls out.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me though. I'm going to go Knights 1 to 12 because I'm liking this week's halves combination of Fletcher Sharp and Jack Cogger. We'll see what they got next week, but I'm going with the Knights on this one.
Well, did you see? Second... Have you had a look at the bench? We got we've got 2 halves on the bench as well, so that's even better.
How
So
hilarious is this?
there's
Hastings and Gamble.
Hastings
Lovely.
and Gamble. So
No doubt in the
no
resis is
doubt,
probably another one too.
no doubt. Give me 4 halves swaps throughout
Yeah,
the game.
they're like the Broncos with hookers. Instead, they just got halves going everywhere. Second game, we've got Cowboys versus the Dolphins. That one is in Barlow Park in Cairns. I'm going to go with the Cows 1-12. I couldn't tell you the majority of these players. They've just rolled out just resis galore, not going to lie, but it's a
Yeah,
good chance for the young fellas to get going. I'm going to go, yeah, Cows 1-12, Robert Derby to score anytime, just because I know that man loves to score tries.
yeah. I'm in the exact same boat as you. Honestly, I know three parts of fuck all of these players besides
Yeah.
guys like Averillo, Sean O'Sullivan, and whatnot. So, stuff. Yeah, I'm going to go against you, and I'm going to go just because I can. I'm going to go the Dolphins 1-12.
It's a bit of a coin flip,
It
and seeing
is.
Jake Averillo there at 6 is just giving me PTSD from the time that he played against the Broncos at 6 and they deleted us right at the end of last season. So
Yeah.
don't want none of that. All right, Saturday. This one's at 12:30, I guess, because it looks like it's in New Zealand in Hamilton. So we've got the Warriors up against Storm. I'm gonna go Storm 13 plus. I didn't love what I saw with the Warriors last week. Sua Farlongo is in there as well, which I just love seeing him play. Tyron Wishart, Stefano, he's getting a run. A couple of their young players, and again, the Warriors basically like naming just about their starting side, besides the few that are away for the Maori All Stars game. Big Bunty's out there as well. He's starting at number 8, but
Yeah.
yeah, I reckon Storm are just going to do them in. What do you reckon?
I think the Warriors are going to get it done.
Go against me again.
I'm
Yeah,
just
good
going to
luck.
have to go against you again. I think it could be another close one. But after watching Storm previous years, um, with a fair few of the they've started well, done well in preseason challenges where they've had a lot of young forwards playing. I think they might just run out of steam towards the end. I'm not too sure, honestly. I'm going to go stuff it. I'm going to go a draw.
Draw it is over
tip the
New
draw.
Zealand.
This guy's they got Sua Falongo, another good guy who'd been playing a fair bit of footy for Sunny Coast Falcons. Is Lazarus in the 10 for the
Yeah, he's a gunner.
he's a big boy for the Melbourne. So yeah, tomato stuff. I'm just going to go against you and tip Waz 1-12. No draw.
He's got no wells. Alrighty, next one. This is at 2:30. Rabbitohs versus the Manly Seagulls. I'm going to go Seagulls 1-12. Again, the square root of fuck all when it comes to the players that I know in this team, but I do see Lehigh Hopewade in there. A few other guys that are in there that are pretty handy. Yeah, I'm going to go with Manly on that one, just because I barely know any of the players. Bit of a flip of the coin, and I'm just going to go with them.
Yeah, same team. I think I'm going to run with Manly as well. No, next to nobody in either of those teams, so could go either way, but we'll be running with Manly.
And that's touching on just the whole preseason thing. And, obviously it's great for the young fellas. And this is no disrespect to any of the fellas that are playing. But without like the first grade guys being in those teams, it's really hard for me to get around them sometimes just because I don't know who anyone is. But I guess at the same time, it's a nice way to get to know them. Now, last one, or maybe the last one, or just about the last one on the Sunday, Broncos versus Titans. This one's out at Toowoomba Sports Ground. I'm going to go with the Broncos 13 plus. Thank you very much. Might need to cut that.
Plus.
I'm going to go.
Yeah, cut that. That was.
I'm
looking at team list, so I didn't even see your face. So I'm probably glad I didn't.
So, yeah, next game, Broncos versus Titans. I'm going to go Broncos 13 plus. Young Hayes Perham making his debut for the Broncos there at fullback, playing out at Toowoomba. A few of the mainstays that are going to be playing. We got Dean Mariner, Billy Walters playing at 6, and Jock Madden at 7. Corey Jensen, Tyson Smoothie, Benjamin Piakura, Jackie G is getting to play as well as Piakura, and they've actually got Kobe Hetherington there in the 13. Did you see that Latrell Sigwalt fellow as well?
No.
He's like some young gun that they signed recently. Played last week.
Actually, did see that as pretty much a replacement for Tristan Taylor for this season.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have to go Broncos 1-12 because it's the Bronx. But, that Titans for a preseason challenge, they're still a pretty good amount of decent Titans players. They'll be lining up like Jojo Fafita. Still got Philip Sammy there, Brimson, Foran, Sam Verrills, Dave Fafita's having a run as well, which I don't think...
run really is a way to put it. He's going to run.
Don't think he'll be having...
stuff,
I don't think he'll be having the biggest minutes on the field just to get just to get a little bit of movement in the legs.
Exactly.
But I think you can nearly see something similar to what happens at the start of the cricket summer between the likes of like McSweeney and Constas. I reckon you can nearly see a little bit of a back rower off between Jackie G and Brendan Piakura, both starting in the back row for the Broncos. So
yeah,
wouldn't be surprised if you see that same back row combination for next trial as well. And, whoever has a better games out of them ends up starting. Wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, I guess it depends how much Madge wants to rest people, because I guess Ricky wouldn't be playing because he's off in the Maori team.
Yeah.
So, yeah, whether or not he wants to rest up players. But, yeah, I guess time will tell. But I think you're right. It probably is a little bit of a back row off, and we'll see who comes out on top. Next game, Doggies versus the West Tigers. I just legally have to go with the Doggies. I'm going to go 1-12. A whole lot of... I couldn't tell you a ton about any of these players.
See Black Taff, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's all I need to know. Who else have we got in here? Jamon Samon. He's in here as well. Love to see that man play. Jarrell Skelton, he's probably going to murder somebody. Actually, I'd put money on that. Just about. Lockie Galvin's in there. Latu Fainu, overweight Latu Fainu, allegedly, according to the Tigers from the breach notices. Talon De Silva, he's pretty handy, but outside of that, no one's really screaming at me. So yeah, Doggies for me.
Yeah, I'll take the Dogs as well there. I think with the system they've got going at the moment, I think they're going to be too strong for that Tigers lineup.
Okay, and then last one it looks like, so we got the Dargans versus the Sydney Roosters. I'm going to go with the Roosters 13 plus. Even though it looks like just about the Dragons run on side, they got Clinton Gutherson, Valentine Holmes, Kyle Flanagan, and Lockie Ilias. Oh, what a halves combination those two.
Nah. I think,
that's such a long way from Ben Hunt.
Oh, yeah. Imagine letting go of Ben Hunt and we're running with Lachlan Ilias. Each their own, though.
Do what you want, bro.
Yeah, I think I'll be taking the Dragons.
The Dragons.
Do I? Or do I not?
I reckon that Roosters team almost looks like it's just about a starting team.
I was going to say, I think I will actually be taking, after having a second glance at that team list, I'll be taking the Roosters 13 plus.
I reckon they're going to get a ton.
Dom Young, Mark, can't pronounce the rest of that.
Go on, have a crack at it.
I need to do some lessons with Blocker on pronunciations. Sandon Smith, Chad Townsend, Spencer Leniu, Nat Butcher, Victor Rudley. Yeah, I think that will be enough to get the job done. So, give me the Chookies.
We shall see. That's pretty much all of our tips for the preseason week 2. Watch us go with a big fat O again. We're going to be 0-2, so just go out. And look, it doesn't matter because it's preseason. We are going to touch briefly on the Australia versus Sri Lanka and not really get too deep on it because, again, Australia just went out there and pumped them. So there's not an awful lot for us to talk about. We make hundreds, we get wickets.
We fuck.
We suck,
That's
we fuck, we get on with it. Yeah, exactly. It is what it is. We're better. We've won all the bilaterals. We're going to win everything. So, Windy's coming up.
Give us all your trophies.
We'll chat a lot more about that. Sorry?
So, give us all your trophies. Trophy cabinet.
Yeah, we're actually at the moment building another trophy room for Australian cricket because we've won everything under the sun. Paddy Cummins is looking at retiring because he's getting bored. It's just getting to that point. But one thing I'd like to touch on, though, Nathan Lyon brings up 550 wickets. He is an absolute legend, the GOAT. So GG told Gary.
Not too many better to do it than Nathan Knight.
No, not better than Gary. Now, where do you think he's going to land wicket-wise for career? So I think, he'd be third at the moment behind UR.
I need to check that. Him and I feel like
because I think he's close to.
I feel like he might have already passed him.
Let me check. Nah, McGrath's still ahead.
What's Pigeon sitting on?
Pidge is sitting on 563. Nathan Lyon, 553.
Yeah, okay, I
So
knew it
he'll
was
he'll
there
screen
about.
past Pidge.
So yeah, he'll run past. He won't go. He won't never touch Warney. That's for sure. But
Do you reckon he'll get close?
what are we at? 550.
That's a long way. That's a good couple of years.
I reckon he's going to end up about. I don't think you'll see Nathan Lyon retire at the end of this series. I think you'll see.
Nah.
I think you'll see 2026 summer talks maybe start to happen. Who knows? Honestly, like we've got Test Championship, even though it's a one-off test. Then we got I think 4 or 5 Test series in the Windies, followed by
Rack up a few in the Windies.
followed by a 5 Test series in Australia for the Ashes, and he does love to take a few English scalps. So,
Oh yeah,
I don't know. He's probably still got another good 4 series in him. So he's going to go awfully close to Warney, I reckon. He'll go awfully close.
You know what's cooked though? So Warney, so the test was 145 matches, 273 innings to bring up his 708. Nathan Lyon is sitting at 136 matches and 253 innings. And there's like 200 almost between them, which is just crazy. But I think if Nathan Lyon ever got up there, for whatever reason, if he was in a position where he was able to keep going and he got near it, surely he wouldn't pass it. Like, I think even if he had the chance, like if he got up to 707 wickets, you'd think, he'd pull the pin. You'd think you wouldn't go past him.
I think he has I think he has a bit about him that I would not be shocked if. I think if he got to the end of a test series and it was known that next test series he's going to pass it for sure, pretty much, I think he would nearly step away or give himself a test to retire back in Australia or something like that. I don't know. But I think if he has the option to be able to not pass Warney, I think he will.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't surprise me. It would be kind of like almost the right thing to do, I guess, in that case. So, yeah, it'd be very interesting there. Smudge, again, went out, turned up.
Having a block of chocky.
Having a pocket chocky. There's not much more to say, but...
There's not much more to say about the cricket. It was pretty much a copy and paste of what happened the week previous. Both in goal. We fucking pumped Sri Lanka both times.
Yeah. Copy and paste. Smudge got tons. Now, one thing... Not much more to it, exactly. Now, did you see the celebration that Travis Head put up on his Instagram story?
Oh, no.
Ed Cowan?
Yes.
About
Australia
him saying something about...
Great golf trip, whatever it was.
Yeah. So he came out in the media or whatever, like having a go, saying, it just seems like they're on a whole heap of golf trips or whatever. And yeah, Travis Head putting up just being like, how about this golf trip type of thing. So that was pretty classic from T-Head, of course, just staring the pot.
Yeah, shocker T-Head, staring shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, the boy's been on a hell of a golf trip by the looks of it, just going over, a bit of golf in Sri Lanka before deleting them in the Dust Bowl. But we love to see it.
Yeah.
And we love to see T-Head just stirring the pot, just stirring the pot how he's actually doing it. Yeah, his celebration's a classic. Yeah. But that's pretty much everything for cricket.
More overs, please.
Oh, yeah. So that's pretty much everything for cricket again. We could get super deep into it, but it's just a whitewash. It's a dead rubber, as they would say. So there's not really a ton to get into. Now, one last little segment before we call it a day that we would like to bring in as an ongoing thing here at Day.Sports is trying to figure out which players would be what beers. And there couldn't be a better player, I think, to kick it all off. So if this player was a beer... What beer would Cam Munster be, Tom? What do you think he would be?
Cam Munster. Oh, gosh. Do you know who Cam does awfully remind me of, though?
What?
It reminds me of 6 More Songs, Alfie Langer. And so... A
little bit of that.
I don't know. I feel like when they give Alfie a blood test, I reckon there's a good chance. 40% of it's 4X. So I think Cam Munster... He could be a 4X, I reckon.
He's got a bit of mango running through his
veins. He's got a bit of mango about him. So I'd say if Cam Munster was a beer, he'd be a 4X. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon he would be. Everyone here in Queensland fucking loves him. So, yeah, I dare say that would be Kerry Munster.
Yeah.
And I dare say that's probably us for tonight as well. So, we'll catch you next week. Have a good one. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that sort of jazz. Go get around the Instagram if you'd like to win that jersey. You can pick whichever team you want, even the Tigers. And we'll catch you next time.
All right. See you later, guys.